Bucks offensive coordinator Dave Canales is the new head coach for the Carolina Panthers, just 42 years old. And when I looked at this, Amine, on the surface, I saw just 1 year as an offensive coordinator for the Bucks. But look what he did with Baker Mayfield this year. And before that, in 2022, he was the Seahawks quarterbacks coach. That was the Geno Smith comeback season. So now the hope here, I think, by hiring him, Amine, is to get Bryce Young on the right track. That clearly did not happen with Frank Reich. And if people are a little bit concerned about this hire, go check out Rashad White's tweet saying in exclamation points in all caps, no, he did not want to lose his offensive coordinator. But I mean, let's break this hire down. I think the Panthers right now have been pretty corrupt over the past few seasons, and maybe it just takes a young mind to turn this around. I will say, even if they're bad next year, which I do expect, hey, it's the NFC South. It's anyone's game.
Yeah, that division has been so lousy past couple of seasons. Last year, the Bucks won. The Bucks won it both years. One game over 500, so even with Tom Brady last year. So not the best division. So that's where you want to be if you're going to be crummy. If you want to have a chance. Don't know a lot about him other than what you mentioned. Baker Mayfield this year had his renaissance, and he was his quarterback coach. So that's telling. Prior to that, he was with the Seahawks for forever. He was with them for their two Super Bowls. He was always on the offensive side, wide receivers coach for a couple of seasons, offensive assistant, quarterback coach a couple of seasons. So we'll see. He must be a great interview because I don't know much about him other than Baker and Geno. He helped them get on track. But that said, it's not like they were like the best quarterback in the league either season. They were just better than they had been prior to him. So I'm very curious to see what he does with Bryce. Bryce, we really don't know what he is yet. This season was kind of a throwaway with all the drama that was happening in Carolina. I saw a stat the other day. The Panthers never at any point had a lead in the fourth quarter of any game this season, which is mind blowing to me, which speaks ill of their defense as well as their offense, obviously. But interesting hire, and we'll see how it turns out. The Panthers might end up being looking like geniuses if he ends up being some kind of a young whiz kid, very young for a head coach, as you mentioned. And it'll be curious. I'm interested to see what he does with Bryce because obviously Bryce coming out of college had all this hoopla. We thought he'd be good right out the gates, and that wasn't the case. Not entirely his fault, obviously, but an interesting hire. TBD for sure.